Exactly. That is also our topic for today. Okay. We'll come back to this, but before that, so we were discussing about naturalized human and humanized nature. Naturalized human matlab human beings have lived along the rules, the principles what nature created. ठीक है? And tribal society is considered to be one of the best society क्योंकि उनके लिए, for them, religion is not Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Parsi, no, nothing. Their religion is nature. ठीक है? We call this religion itself as naturalism. Not Hinduism, not Islam, not Christianity. That is naturalism. Naturalism matlab they consider themselves to be a part of this ecology, this environment. Okay? We are just one set. Rest other sets are also equally responsible for balancing this nature. We have thought, what is so-called civilized society thought, we are the one who are dominant. Homo sapiens. We are called as Homo sapiens, right? Human beings are called as Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens matlab whose brain is most developed. Unfortunately, with this developed brain, we are trying to kill the one who has helped in development of this nature, this Homo sapien itself. Okay. Now talking about the senses of animals. Acha, next animal that we are discussing is about tigers. Okay. Tigers have a vision 6 times better than human beings. 6 times better than human beings. Okay. And their own vision at daytime versus their own vision at night time is much better at night. Okay? Tiger's vision at night is much better than their own vision at daytime. Okay? They have whiskers. You have seen the tiger ka whisker? Whisker wo jo aise aise banate hain. In our childhood, we have drawn tiger like this. है ना? Something similar to cats. This is whisker. Okay? Whisker is important for them because they can understand, they can feel the movement in air using those whiskers. Okay? They can even differentiate whether the nearby organism is moving on grass or touching the leaves. That is their capability. Whether the organism is along the leaf movement, for example, monkeys along the leaf, they will be touching the leaves, or any other organism which is crawling will be touching the grasses. They can detect with respect of sound. They can understand with respect to sound whether the organism is moving, crawling, or is it a reptilian species, or is it 4 limbs or 2 limbs. All of this they can differentiate only with respect to sound. Okay? They will be releasing different sounds. They will be creating different sounds for different kind of behavior. Okay? For mating, they will be roaring in a different manner. For danger, they will be roaring in a different manner. This is true for birds also. Birds for mating, birds for danger. They will create different sounds. Okay? And they will also show territorial domination using urine or excreta. Okay? NCERT gave us this task. You have to complete this task. I'll begin with how is it calculated. Sloth bear, have you seen? Photo mein hi, have you seen sloth bear? Okay? They will sleep for 3/4 of the day. Okay? 3/4 part of the day, 75% of the day they will be sleeping, only 25% they will be awake. That is why we call anybody who is very lazy as a sloth bear. Okay? Because you are awake and active only for 25% of the day. Okay? This is about rest of the animals. You have to tell me the percentage. With respect to cat, what is the percentage of the day that cat is, or hours in a day that the cat is awake? This is the graph. Can you see the graph first of all? 12 hours. Okay, easy. What about giraffe? Only 1 hour. They will be sleeping for only 1 hour. Giraffe will sleep only for 1 hour. Okay? You imagine itna apna badhiya capability hota, we would have definitely cleared exam. Okay? Okay, I will sleep for cat's time. And thoda sa kam. Okay, what about python? नहीं, 3 3 6 3 9, अच्छा 9 to 18, 18 hours, 18 hours के लिए they will sleep, ठीक है, क्योंकि दिस इज 3 + 3 + 3 6, सॉरी 9 का डबल, क्योंकि 1 clock shows 12 hours only, राइट, उसका डबल, सो 18 hours के लिए they will sleep, ठीक है. What about cows? This is 2 hours. Giraffe is 2 hours. 2 + 2 4. They will be sleeping for only 4 hours. ठीक है. So we need to try sleeping like cow. ठीक है. The rest of the time you should yam 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 yam. What is this yam 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 yam? Cows, as in when they are, achha, this is chewing, I agree, but when they are eating the grasses, they directly chew and swallow? No. Bring back. Cows have this capability कि वो हड़बड़ी में खाना खा लेते हैं. It's like buffet, ठीक है. So they will eat very quickly, ठीक है. As in when they get grasses, they will eat very quickly and swallow it, ठीक है. They have a capability of bringing it up again and then chew it back, chew it properly and then digest it, ठीक है. This is important for cellulose digestion. Cellulose, human beings are not able to digest cellulose. अपने body में appendix is there, which was responsible for cellulose digestion earlier. Because we are not consuming cellulose, so we don't need appendix now. So the appendix has become a vestigial organ. But otherwise, हमारे यहाँ just in human body, just beside kidney, you have a small organ, okay, by the name appendix, which is responsible for cellulose digestion. Where do you get cellulose? Grasses and leaves contain cellulose, okay? Because earlier we have come from apes, so apes used to eat cellulose, okay? So they had some kind of organ which was responsible for cellulose digestion. Because we are not consuming cellulose, excepting palak and what are the spinach you eat? What is it called? Acha. I don't know how it's called. In English, it is called amaranthus. ठीक है. So we eat such kind of leaves, but it's the cellulose part we will not digest. Cellulose part we will remove. Rest of the part we will consume. Okay, so it is important for cows to undertake cellulose digestion. Okay, so talking about last part of this chapter, which was talking about aversion. How does a species protect itself from any kind of predator? Okay, should I convert it into PDF now itself? Are you not able to? If you're not able to see, you can come and sit here. ठीक है. So to avoid the predators, fishes, they will send electric signals, ठीक है, that we are in danger and we need to shift away from this. For that, any kind of predation से protect करने के लिए they will send electric signals. Who are predators and who are prey? नहीं. हाँ, correct. The one which is being consumed is the prey. The one which is consuming is the predator. Okay? So if the prey has to protect itself from predator, they will send electric signals in case of fishes. Okay? Langurs and birds, they will create different kinds of sounds to protect themselves from predators. Okay? Done? Can I change the slide? नहीं, अच्छा, हाँ. Second half maybe you have class, huh? What class here? अच्छा, history. Complete, actually. Right. Can I change the slide? Huh. Okay. Talking about that part of society which is being affected because of all the activities that we are doing. Okay. They are not the ones who are affecting the nature. We are affecting the nature and they are facing the consequence of all of this. Okay. One such tribal society is the Kalbelias. Yeah. She is a lady from such kind of tribal society, and this society, this tribe itself is found in Rajasthan. Okay. What you have to do is, as a part of homework, is you need to get a map. Okay. And along the map, as and when you are reading about a tribe, please mark their region. Okay. So that you know Kalbelia is in this region, Toda is in this region, Irulas in this region, Changpas we will be studying today, it is in this region. On a map, you plot this. Okay. So talking about one such society, which is Kalbelias. Kalbelias are the snake charmers. Snake charmers, matlab they know to play bean, and they will be protecting the snakes. Okay? Capturing the snakes. They are basically nomadic. Nomadic matlab they do not live at one place. They will not be having fixed home. They will keep on moving. Okay? And they are also one of the scheduled tribes of India. Okay? Scheduled tribes of India, how do you determine whether a tribe is scheduled tribe or not? It is a presidential order. Presidential order may they will be mentioning that this tribe is to be declared as a scheduled tribe across the country or in this particular state. On that basis, that scheduled tribe status is granted. Okay? Presidential order will declare whether a tribe is a scheduled tribe or not. Okay? Some of the districts in which they are most commonly found is Ajmer, Chittorgarh and Udaipur. You have to tell me, have you heard the names of these places? I'm not going to ask you the state in which they are found. Where have you heard them? Correct. Okay. Udaipur, have you heard the name of Prithviraj Chauhan? Prithviraj Chauhan, it was his capital. Okay? Or one of the territories it was trying to occupy also was Udaipur. Okay? Prithviraj Chauhan's palace is present in Udaipur. That is why you see so many forts there. Okay? If you have not heard Prithviraj Chauhan's name, you might have also heard Chetak. Chetak, not heard? Chetak was the horse of Prithviraj Chauhan, considered to be one of the fastest horse in the world. That is why we have named some of the helicopters in India by the name Chetak, because they will be very fast. Okay? So Chetak was his helicopter nahi tha us समय, was his horse. Okay? Ajmer mein we have one of the Sufis, Moinuddin Ali Chishti, but not very sure. You will have to find out his name. Okay? Ajmer mein one of the Sufi saints ka dargah is present. Matlab body was cremated in that region. Okay? In Ajmer. Okay? Who are Sufis? चित्तौड़गढ़ में भी पृथ्वीराज चौहान का टेरिटरी है. Correct. They are the saints in Islam. Okay? In Islam, Sufis are saints which will try to interpret Quran in the form of musical form. Okay? But whatever Sufism taught, it is a very ideal form of Islam. Okay? A very peace-loving, ideal form of Islam is taught by Sufi saints in the form of musical traditions. Okay? So all of this, in this entire region, you will be finding the Kalbelia tribe. Okay? This dance is also part of UNESCO's intangible heritage list. Kalbelia dance, this dance, snake charmer ka dance, is also part of UNESCO's intangible cultural heritage ka list. Now, what is this list about? Okay? There is an organization belonging to United Nations. United Nations. Okay? United Nation organization ka naam have you heard? It is an international organization responsible for maintenance of peace in the world. Okay? Plus, they will be discussing about some of the problems faced by every country. How do you deal with this problem? Achha, you are suffering from food insecurity, I will give you food. You are facing some kind of political issues, I will help you resolve them. Achha, two countries are fighting, no, you please don't fight, I will help you resolve this issue. All of this ke liye we have an organization called United Nations internationally. Okay? UNESCO is a part of UN itself. Okay? We call this as a special wing of UN. Okay? Some other special wing of UN also are WHO, specialized agency, UNESCO, specialized agency, FAO, specialized agency. Food and Agriculture Organization, World Health Organization, these are all examples of specialized agency of United Nations. Okay? So, ये specialized agency of United Nations by the name UNESCO has identified some of the intangible cultural heritage. Intangible matlab something that you cannot touch. Okay? But it is, you can feel, you can see, you can hear. Okay? So, intangible cultural heritage ka list internationally has been recognized. When you go to this country, you should see this. Take time to see this. Take time to observe this. Go to this place. Okay? So, tangible as well as intangible separate lists are maintained by UNESCO. Okay? Within tangible heritage, you have cultural heritage, you have natural heritage. Okay? Cultural heritage ka site is also Hampi, the group of temples at Hampi, group of temples at Mahabalipuram. These are all UNESCO's cultural heritage sites. Okay? UNESCO's natural heritage site includes Silent Valley National Park, ये वायनाड के पास जो है, और बांडीपुर तो नहीं है. There is one more in South India, many more in South India. UNESCO के World Heritage Sites. Natural. Nilgiris is also the example of site. उसी में आता है Muddumalai. Have you heard? Muddumalai not heard. It is on Kerala, Tamil Nadu के boundary पर. There are so many important national parks which are UNESCO's tangible heritage list in the natural site. These are natural sites, right? These are protected areas, forest areas. Then UNESCO ka cultural heritage ka list is also present. Okay? This is UNESCO ka intangible heritage list. Okay? Which contains Kalbelia and also contains this list. Okay? Kalbelia is from Rajasthan. Understood? Okay? We have Garba from Gujarat. Seen this? Observe this? Garba wo jo aise tak tak tak. That is also Dandiya, but Garba mein bhi wo use kiya jata hai. From Gujarat, that is the UNESCO's intangible heritage list. Durga Puja of Kolkata is also UNESCO's intangible cultural heritage list. Okay? Kumbh Mela conducted in, where is Kumbh Mela conducted? What is Kumbh Mela? Not heard? हाँ. गंगा यमुना के confluence पे, we call this as Prayag, Allahabad. Okay? Where Ganga and Yamuna meets, this is the Prayag. This is one such place where Kumbh Mela is conducted. Apart from this, it is also conducted at Haridwar, where Alaknanda and Bhagirathi are meeting. Okay? Alaknanda Bhagirathi together forms Ganga. So Haridwar is the birthplace of Ganga. Otherwise, Ganga we say has originated from Gangotri, right? So Gangotri say we have Alaknanda only. Alaknanda meets Bhagirathi at Haridwar. So after Haridwar, we call this as Ganga. Okay? And Ganga, when it meets Yamuna, this is Prayag, also, which was earlier known as Allahabad, has been recently named to Prayag itself. Okay? Kumbh Mela is also conducted in Nashik, Maharashtra, Godavari River par. Okay? So Kumbh Mela is basically mass bathing. Okay? People will, on a particular date, mass bathing will take place. Okay? We call this as Kumbh Mela. Okay? Nowruz is a Parsi festival. For Parsis, Nowruz is celebrated across the country. So this is not limited to one particular place. This is across the country. Okay? Parsis ka festival it is. Thatera. Thatera is the, you have seen copper का copper नहीं और किसका मिला होगा vessel, water carrying vessel made of brass or copper, tamba or pital. Have you seen it? It is round like structure. You have seen this, made up of brass or copper. Seen this? This is created in Punjab. There is one such which has been recognized by UNESCO, created in Punjab, because the sound with which it is banged and that round structure is created, it is creating a sound called tha 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 tha. That is why we call this intangible, because there is nothing formal way of creating this. Okay? And has been passed on through generations. From 12 to 15 generations, every parent has taught their child how to make this. So this is this passage of the technology, how do we make this at home, is known as Thatera, has been recognized by UNESCO as Thatera. Why are we calling this as intangible heritage list? You are understanding? Yeah, we have not recognized this utensil. We have recognized the knowledge that has been passed across generations. Okay. Then we have Sankirtana from Manipur. This is Sankirtana. Drum beating and dancing. They will swirl, flip with the drum itself. They will flip. Drum nahi dholak. Okay. This is known as Sankirtana from Manipur. Recognized under UNESCO's intangible heritage. Thatera from Punjab. Okay. Then Buddhist chanting is also one of the intangible heritage recognized by UNESCO from Ladakh. By the way, are you able to understand how to read NCERT? How to read NCERT matlab, you don't have to read the line. When you're reading about the topic, you have to read it completely about all other topics associated to that. Getting my point? That is why if in NCERT class 5 book, you will see the book is only discussing about sense organs of animals. Ants detect smell very easily. Mosquitoes will detect the smell of your feet or body heat, or dogs will detect smell very easily. They have a flappy ear. Okay? But when you are reading about ant or dog or mosquito, you have to read everything about it. Getting my point? That is how you have to cover NCERT. That is why if somebody says that I have studied only NCERT plus newspaper, it is not possible. What they have done is they've done the background research part also. Okay? Have you heard somebody saying NCERT plus newspaper, I have cleared the exam? No, nobody. But when we used to prepare, there were so many people who were telling us this kind of information, they're giving us this kind of misinformation that they have cleared the exam with only NCERT plus newspaper. This is what they are doing. If they are reading one line in NCERT, they are doing a research related to that topic, studying everything about it and then covering that topic. Okay. Okay, next is continuing about intangible heritage list, UNESCO intangible heritage list. May we have Chau dance. Chau dance from Purulia. This is Chau. No, this. No, this is Uttarakhand. Ramman. This is Chau dance. Chau dance, you would have seen. I have seen it in one movie. I don't remember the name. Barfi. Correct. Have you seen Barfi? Ranbir Kapoor and Priyanka Chopra. Have you seen? In that movie, in that song, even if you have not seen the movie, in that song, one of the songs they have shown that it will be a mask-like thing that will be worn and worn by so many people and they will dance together. Okay? So this Chau from Purulia and Mayurbhanj. Purulia in West Bengal, Mayurbhanj in Odisha. Okay? This has been recognized as UNESCO's intangible cultural heritage. Then we have Kalbelia from Rajasthan. You guys are sleepy? Very serious. Not answering, not smiling. You are able to understand what we are discussing? Pakka, 100%. Okay? So Kalbelia is from Rajasthan. Mudiyettu is from Kerala. Anybody from Kerala? Kerala. Mudiyettu you have seen? Correct. If you have seen Kerala ka authentic dance in which the eyebrows will dance, have you seen that? Okay? That is Mudiyettu. A big mask will be worn. There will be some green color, blue color faces. Face will be covered green, face will be covered blue with big, and they have a big dress also. Okay? That is Mudiyettu. Okay? From Kerala. This is Raman from Garhwal. Where is Garhwal? Uttarakhand. Correct. So you are from Uttarakhand? Oh, good. What is the other part of Uttarakhand other than Garhwal? Kumaon. So Uttarakhand has only two parts, easy to remember. One is Garhwal, one is Kumaon. Okay? Raman is from Garhwal region. Okay? UNESCO's intangible heritage from Uttarakhand. Then we have Kutiyattam. Kutiyattam again from Kerala itself. Okay? Oh, she's smiling. She knows. We have Vedic chanting also in UNESCO's intangible heritage. This is Vedic chanting. It is very beautiful. I have seen it in Tamil Nadu itself. Have you ever seen this? Arya Samaj ke school mein, if you see the old schools of Arya Samaj, Gurukul system wala, children will be having bald hairs, almost no hair, and they will be sitting together and chanting gang 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 gang. It's so beautiful. I had good goosebumps listening to this kind of Vedic chanting. It will be a dense forest area, and you can hear some rhythmic sounds. That is Vedic chanting. And then Ram Leela. What is Ram Leela? What is Ram Leela? It's not here. Play Ramayan ko. Ramayan is enacted through Ram Leela, which is also accepted as UNESCO's intangible heritage. In this, we are exhibiting Ramayan itself. Okay. Talking about the next tribe, which is Changpa. Changpa. You guys want break? Okay, only he wants break. The rest of you are okay without break? Okay. So you can take a break and come back. Okay. In that case, you will have to be back early. Okay. So the next tribe is Changpa. Changpas are shepherd community. Who are shepherd community? Sheep. They will be rearing sheep. In this case, Changpas are rearers of goats. And you have definitely heard the name of this goat. Pashmina goats heard? Changpas are the one who will rear Pashmina goats. So they are the ones who will create the yarn out of the goats. The goats' fiber, say, this yarn, Pashmina yarns are created using these yarns. What is a yarn? Thread. A thread is known as a yarn. So they will take out the fur from Pashmina goats and create yarn out of this and then make shawl and sell it. It is said that Pashmina shawls, there is one detection. A normal finger ring, say, entire shawl can be crossed, can be passed through this ring, this much size. That is its compression capacity. It can get compressed to such an extent. So Changpas are the shepherd community who rear Pashmina goats. They live close to a wildlife sanctuary. What is a wildlife sanctuary? It is a protected area, we call this. Protected area can be a national park also, can be a wildlife sanctuary also. There are a variety of, but protected area ka matlab hota hai, the meaning of protected area is that we will be preserving the animal species, plant species which are found in this area. Okay? So they live close to Changthang Wildlife Sanctuary. Changthang Wildlife Sanctuary, they will be living close to Changthang Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay? Which contains a very important water body. This is a water body called Somoriri. It's a lake. Okay? Salt water lake. Somoriri is a salt water lake present close to Changthang Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay. Okay, why is it very important? Because it has been internationally recognized. Somoriri itself, this water body has been internationally recognized from India. Okay? It says that this water body is a very important water body and it's the ecological, there are some changing ecological character. The bird species which are dependent on this, the plant species which are living inside the water body, the people who are living in and around this water body are getting affected because of climate change. Okay? So you need to protect this water body. Okay? Has been internationally recognized, Somoriri. Okay? 115 such water bodies in India are internationally recognized through the same organization called Ramsar. Ramsar. ठीक है. Then related to Changpa, they have Rebo. ठीक है. Rebo is this kind of houses. ठीक है. This is made up of yak hair. Yak's hair से this kind of houses they will be creating. ठीक है. Which is known as Rebo. So what kind of questions can be asked in UPSC? Rebo in Changpa community are, and they will give you 4 options. ठीक है. If they are asking questions directly from NCERT, this is how they will be asking. Okay? So these are homes made out of yak hair. Then they have lekha. Lekha is something like this. You see a set of stones piled up, one upon each other, one upon other. Okay? This is known as lekha, and lekhas are the stone houses where animals are kept. Okay? Most commonly can be horses or can also be goats. Okay? Pashmina goats. And the same Changpa community are also very well known for cultivation of shawls, Pashmina shawls. Okay? You have any idea what will be the cost of pure Pashmina? That is the cost. That is the, I'm talking about pure Pashmina. I'm not talking about the residual yarn. Okay? Residual fiber se nahi. With every yarn, if all of it is created by Pashmina, original Pashmina goat itself, it costs 3.5 lakh and only a shawl, I'm saying. Okay? Now, Changpas have a different kind of home structure. Houses are made with different, there is something unique to their houses. One is a window. You see the windows coming out of the building. Outside the building, the house windows will be in a hexagonal shape. Okay? This is known as a dab. Dab, D-A-B. Okay? And Khatam Band, this is known as Khatam Band. On their ceilings, they will be having this kind of they will be having a structure. This structure is known as Khatam Band. On the wood carvings, on the ceilings, ceilings are usually made up of wood because it can trap heat. Okay? So on those woods, there will be carvings known as Khatam Band. Okay? Then we have stone plus brick plus wood houses. So houses ka walls are made up of stone plus brick plus wood, which is known as mehrab. Mehrab. Yeah. And lastly, we have one more tribes. This is another tribe by the name Bhakarwals. Okay. This is another tribe by the name Bhakarwals. Bhakarwals are transhumans. Transhumans, achha, you first finish writing. Done? Transhumans are a particular tribe which will live on low altitude areas. Okay? And will migrate to mountain top. Okay? During a particular season, they will migrate to mountain top and then will come back to the ground surface, valley area. What is a valley? For example, this is a mountain, this is a mountain, this is another mountain. So this will be known as a valley area. Okay? So they will migrate from valley to mountain top to valley. Okay? During summer season, matlab, they are expecting more heat, though some warmth they will be expecting. So during summer season, they will migrate to the mountain top. But during winter season, mountain top will be very cold, right? So during winter season, they will come back to the valley. Okay? That is what transhumans do. Transhumans do not, how will be their houses? It will be a temporary facility. Okay? Temporary facility. This is different from nomads. Nomads will continuously move from one, for example, today they are in Rajasthan, tomorrow they can be in Bihar, next day they can be in UP, next day they can be in MP. That is a nomadic life. But in transhumans, they have a fixed location. Only this valley, this mountain top, this valley, this mountain top, and they will be switching depending upon the season. Okay? Bhakarwals are an example of a transhumans. Okay? Okay. Now we are done with that chapter. Chapter 5 is over. Okay. Sorry, class 5 ka NCERT on it is basically on science. Okay. Where they are trying to teach expand the sense organs for our sense organs, right? हमारा sense organs कौन-कौन से? Eyes, nose, ears, skin and tongue. Okay. So these are human being sense organ. We were studying about the sense organs of other animals. Okay. And in that process, we have studied about those animals also. Okay. Now we will begin with the core part of environment. Okay. This is also here also we will be discussing only basics. Okay. क्योंकि NCERT का classes का intention itself is we will be covering only the basics. Okay. The core part of environment is yet to start. Okay. In which we will be referring to so many other books. Matlab, when we are studying about the core part of environment, we will be referring to the graduation part of environment also. Okay. Now talking about the core part of environment, what is ecology? Ecology basically is the study of environment. Okay. Ecology is the study of environment. What is environment? Environment basically refers to the biotic as well as abiotic components which are living in a particular area. Matlab living as well as non-living components in a particular area will be called as the environment. So this table, this fan, this light, this projector, this me, you guys, we are all creating an environment. Okay? This is an environment, and ecosystem is the subpart within environment wherein the interaction between living and non-living component begins. Okay? When there is an interaction between living and non-living component, we call this as an ecosystem. So if I am making use of this table or this pen, there is an interaction between living and non-living component, we call this as environment. When we are living in nature, so sunlight is abiotic component, non-living component. Water is non-living component. Soil is non-living component. When in our childhood we have consumed soil, mitti khaya ho? Have you eaten? Okay, I have done that. So eaten, है ना? So this is the interaction between biotic and abiotic component. पानी तो पिए हैं. We have all drank water. This is the interaction between biotic and abiotic component. Until and unless this interaction begins, we cannot call this as ecosystem. There can be biotic plus non-biotic components living without interaction. We will not be calling this as ecosystem. But by nature itself, this is not possible. Okay? When the nature was created, there was a continuous interaction between biotic and abiotic components. Okay? And before the life prevailed, before I'm talking, when the earth was being created itself, there was no existence of life. That time you cannot call it as an ecosystem. You can only call it as an environment. Because there are biotic and abiotic components. When we had this creation of carbon dioxide and oxygen, and animals and plants started breathing, this interaction started taking place, and then we had the creation of ecosystem. Okay? Whenever we are studying about ecosystem or environment, this is known as ecology. Okay? Now this biotic interaction can be, these are the components of ecosystem. The components of ecosystem can be abiotic components, can be biotic components. Biotic components are producers, for example, plants, consumers like us, and decomposers, which are responsible for eating upon dead organic matter. Okay? Decomposers are the microorganisms. What are the abiotic components? It can be temperature, humidity, light, water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, or proteins, carbohydrates, lipids. These are all abiotic, non-living components. Okay? you want any definition to be dictated, please let me know. Okay. Done writing this? Okay. Then the biotic interaction मतलब interaction within the biotic components. Okay. This can be an interspecies or intraspecies interaction. Interspecies interaction मतलब within the same species. For example, you and me communicating against each other are intraspecies communication, intraspecies interaction. Okay. But when we start interacting with the squirrels, okay, or cats or dogs, or even the earthworms, okay, this will be known as an interspecies interaction. Okay. So biotic interaction itself can be within the same species, known as intraspecies, or can be occurring between two different species, known as interspecies. Okay. Then organisms, every organism is organized into levels. Okay. This organization, this level of organization can be an individual. Okay. Individual matlab we are talking about one species, one organism. Matlab amongst us also only her we are talking about, individual. Okay. Then you collect so many species of the same organism. So all other human beings put together, this will be known as population. So just above individual, we have population. A group of individuals belonging to same species will be known as a population. Okay. Once you include more number of species itself, we form a community. Okay. So multiple populations of different species combined together will be known as a community. Okay. When this community starts interacting with each other, this will be known as an ecosystem. Okay. When the communities start interacting with each other, this will be known as an ecosystem. Okay. And several ecosystems combined together will be known as a biome. Several ecosystems combined together will be forming a biome. Okay. And multiple biomes combined together will be forming a biosphere. Multiple biomes combined together will be forming a biosphere. Okay. Biosphere, the biosphere is the zone where atmosphere, that is air, lithosphere, that is soil, and hydrosphere, that is water, meets. Okay. Biosphere is the zone of interaction between atmosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere. Hydrosphere matlab water, that is ocean. Lithosphere matlab land, that is crust, and atmosphere matlab air. Where these three things are interacting, this is known as the biosphere. Okay. Okay. Talking about these organisms one by one, the biotic components one by one. We at the stage one we have autotrophs. Okay. Autotrophs, which are the producers. Okay. This producer will have a productivity. Matlab it is their task to produce the organic matter, right? It is the task of the producer to produce something organic matter. Okay. There is a gross primary productivity. Gross primary productivity is talking about the total number of things that can be produced, the total biomass that can be produced by a producer. Okay. This is gross primary productivity. But it will consume its own stored food or the air that it has kept. Okay. It will consume its own productivity. So whatever is left out after its own consumption will be known as the net primary productivity. Gross primary productivity minus the consumption of the producer. Consumption by the producer will give us something which is known as the net primary productivity. Okay. For human beings, we are concerned about the net primary productivity, not about the gross primary productivity. क्योंकि gross primary productivity से some part you are yourself consuming. What is left for us human beings के consumption के लिए, for the consumption of human beings, what is left will be the net primary productivity. ठीक है? Understood the primary productivity? Primary productivity refers to what biomass has been created by a producer. For example, how many fruits produced by a tree, ठीक है, will be its primary productivity. ठीक है? Heterotrophs. Heterotrophs can be herbivores. Who are herbivores? Herbivores are who eat plants. Correct. Then who are carnivores? Who eat animals only. ठीक है? If you have any organism which is eating both, they will be known as omnivores. ठीक है? What are autotrophs, by the way? Correct, correct. Autotrophs are those which will produce their food. ठीक है? They are capable of producing their own food. We are all heterotrophs. Because we cannot produce our own food, we will be feeding on whatever plants gives us or animals gives us. ठीक है? So if we are feeding on what plants are giving us only, that is in that case, that part of human beings, that set of human beings or that set of organisms will be known as heterotrophs. If they are eating on animals only, they will be known as carnivores. If they are eating both plants and animals, they are known as omnivores. ठीक है? Last is the decomposers. Decomposers are also put up under the category of heterotrophs. Heterotrophs only, because they are also not the ones who are producing their food. They are eating upon the decomposed, dry, dead organic matter. ठीक है? So these are decomposers. Can you give me some of the examples of decomposers? Huh? Fungus, very easy. Correct. Fungus, earthworms, flatworms, roundworms, okay, tapeworms. These are all examples of decomposers. Okay. Then we have ecological efficiency. Okay. Ecological efficiency refers to how much that any organism has been able to acquire. Okay. For example, plant will make use of sunlight, will make use of water, will make use of soil, nutrients from soil, and prepare food. Okay? So it acquired some resources, it acquired sunlight, it acquired water, it acquired nutrients from soil. How much it is able to acquire versus how much it is able to transfer. This will be known as the ecological efficiency. Okay? Ecological efficiency refers to the amount of energy acquired by an organism to the amount of energy it is able to transfer, to other organisms. Okay. You have written that it is a ratio, right? Just check in the definition. You have written that it is a ratio. Ecological efficiency refers to the ratio. Please add here. Ecological efficiency refers to the ratio of amount of energy it has acquired to the amount of energy it has transmitted to the next organism. Okay. But how are we discussing about, you want break? Chalega? I'll finish off the class by 12:30-45. Okay. So happy. Happy or sad? Both. The usual pattern is after 1.5 hours we give break. Okay. But because you were very much interested, so I thought I'll skip the break only. Okay. Then your decision was that I should not have looked interested in the subject itself. Like, half an hour, 10 minutes ka break is given usually, but because you were very much involved, so I thought I'll skip. I'll leave you guys 10-15 minutes earlier. Chalega? Okay. Now talking about ecological efficiency. Why are we talking about ecological efficiency? Because we are talking about a predator-prey relationship. We are trying to shift towards a chain in which who is eating whom will be depicted. Okay? In an ecosystem where biotic and abiotic components have started interacting. Okay? And biotic is interacting within itself also. Abiotic is interacting within itself also. Water interacting with soil, soil interacting with water. Or we interacting with squirrels, squirrels interacting with us. We interacting with chickens and chickens interacting with us. Okay? So biotic and abiotic component are interacting amongst themselves and between biotic and abiotic component also. This is an ecosystem. Okay? In an ecosystem, a food chain is representative of what will be the predator, who will be the predator, who will be the prey. Okay? This will be consumed by whom? This will be consumed by whom? Or this will be providing food to whom? Okay? Grasses are consumed by us, not exactly grasses, but some of the fruits made up of grasses. For example, bajra is a grass, wheat is a grass, rice is a grass. Okay? Sugar cane is also a grass. Okay? Bamboo is also a grass. Okay? So these are all something that is providing food to us, and we will consume and become food for the decomposers. Okay? So food chain is a representation of this kind of relationship. Who is feeding on the resources of whom? Okay? When you combine several food chains together, what we get is a food web. Okay? For example, grasses. Okay? Grasses consumed by human beings. Okay? But then we have grasshoppers also, right? Grasshoppers themselves consumed by birds. Yahan pe hi we have elephants also. Getting my point? So if you combine so many food chains together, trying to depict every relationship of an ecosystem, biotic, abiotic, biotic, biotic, abiotic, abiotic, you're trying to denote all such kind of relationship in one chart, and combining all the food chains together, what you get is a food web. Okay? Now you tell me, if you have understood this very clearly, whether food web is more stable or a food chain is more stable. It is more stable. I'll try to confuse you. You don't worry. You need to stick to your answer. That is food web. If it is merging, it is food web. Correct. Exactly. Food chain is not stable. Food chain is not stable because it is only one line. If you remove the species, the line collapses. But food web may you have several options. If you remove the species, you can continue energy movement along other lines also. I'll repeat what I said. Food chain ho, chahe food web ho, whatever be it. This is just denotion of shift of energy, right? How is energy moving along this line? Okay? So if we are talking about a food chain, this is a unilateral shift of energy. If you remove one species, this chain will collapse. Okay? You forget about all of this. If only we are talking about this stage, grasses, humans and decomposers. And if you remove humans, this entire chain will collapse. Okay? So food chain is not stable. If you combine so many food chains together, and if you remove one species also, alternatives to shift of energy is possible. So food web is more stable as compared to food chain. Are you convinced? Not convinced. You have understood food chain also, food web also. Okay? I think maybe you are not able to understand the question. Are you able to understand the question, that which is more stable? If I'm asking which is more stable, I'm asking what are the chances that it will survive? Okay? If I'm asking whether food chain is more stable or food web is more stable, I'm asking whether food chain will be able to survive or food web will be able to survive. Okay? If you remove a species from a food chain, and because food chain is unilateral shift, you forget about all of this. Tell me any other food chain beginning with Beginning with grasses. Who else eats grasses? इससे ऊपर who eats cow? Hyenas. Who eats hyenas? Vulture. They are known as saprotrophs. Vultures are known as saprotrophs. Eagles are also known as saprotrophs. Okay. They are not micro or small organisms. They are big organisms, but will be still feeding on dead organic matter only. Okay. Vultures से ऊपर decomposer. This is a food chain. Okay. We can have an extension of this. So the grasses can be eaten by others also. But this is a food chain. Okay. We are not depicting a food web. This is a food chain. If you remove this organism, because we are talking about the stability of a food chain. Okay. Stability of an food chain. Stability of an ecosystem. Matlab, even if this organism dies, let's say the number of species of hyena, number of population of hyenas collapses. So will we be able to continue with this food chain? No, because this species itself is lost. So there is no connect between cow and vultures. But I do agree that vultures can feed on directly cows also. But hyenas was an important population. Vultures feeding on cow cannot control their population. Hyenas feeding on cow could have controlled their population. So the number of cows will increase to a significant extent. Vultures will be very small in number. So this species, this ecosystem will not be able to survive. Okay? Because task of every upper trophic level is to control the population of lower trophic level. Food chain will not be able to survive. But this shift of energy, this flow of energy can be able to move through alternative routes in a food web. In a food web, there are alternative routes through which energy can be transferred. Okay? So food chain is relatively less stable. Food web is relatively more stable because there are alternatives. Other organisms, for example, if you denote it as a food web, okay? So other than hyenas, we can have dogs, we can have wolves, we can have other organisms also, okay, who could have controlled the population of cows. Okay? So food chain loses stability, food web is relatively more stable. Understood? Okay, so that was about food chain and food web. Then we have ecosystem. You understood what is an ecosystem? You understood what is an ecosystem? Wherein the interaction between biotic and abiotic components are taking place. Now, this ecosystem itself can be on land, will be known as a terrestrial ecosystem. Can be in water, known as an aquatic ecosystem. Okay? I'll repeat what I said. Ecosystem is basically an interaction between biotic and abiotic component. If this is taking place on land, this will be known as a terrestrial ecosystem. If the same interaction is taking place in water, this will be known as an aquatic ecosystem. Okay? Then we have something in between these two. There is life on land, there is life on water. But there is an intermediate life between land and water also. Okay? This is known as an ecotone. Okay? This is known as an ecotone. Ecotone is an intermediate ecosystem. Ecotone is an intermediate ecosystem between two ecosystems. Intermediate ecosystem between two ecosystems. Okay? Can you give me an example of ecotone? So that is a species. Yes, that is a species which is living in an ecotone. Any other? Mangrove forest. Okay, thoda आसान वाला. We'll discuss about mangroves. But any other? Turtles, snakes, amphibians. All amphibians are capable of living on land also, capable of living in water also. So they will all be part of the species, the examples which are living in an ecotone. Ecotone is the ecosystem. It is not the species. It is the ecosystem between land and water. ठीक है? तो delta, have you heard? What is a delta? Whenever a river is meeting the sea, whenever a river meets the sea, there is a structure that is called, which is known as delta. ठीक है? We have KG Basin delta, Krishna Godavari ka delta, we have Kaveri delta, we have Ganga ka delta, we have Godavari ka delta, we have Narmada ka delta. So many rivers. Wherever a river is meeting the sea, you will be having a formation of a delta. Okay? Or something else also, but this is the usual structure. Okay? So delta is also an example of an ecotone. Okay? Because it is the land, this ecosystem is at the junction of river and sea. Okay? Now the species which are living in an ecotone are known as edge species. Edge species. Species living in an ecotone are known as edge. EDGE. Edge species. Species that are living in an ecotone is known as an edge species. And their special capability, they are capable enough to live on land also, on water also. This special capability is known as the edge effect. Their capability to adapt, their capability to adapt, to live between two ecosystems, is known as edge effect. ठीक है? So ecotone we mostly understood as land, the ecosystem which is in ecotone का मतलब होता है, the meaning of ecotone is it is found in between two ecosystems. ठीक है? Now this ecosystem can be anything मतलब ice, glaciers and land. ठीक है? Glacier and river and sea, land and water. Any two ecosystem के बीच का जो ecosystem होगा, between two ecosystems will be known as an ecotone. ठीक है? So one such ecotone we understood is between land and water. Between fresh water and marine water, between sea and fresh water also there can be an ecotone. ठीक है? So some of the species which are living in an ecotone includes turtles, include crocodiles, includes snakes or all other amphibians. It also includes a type of fish. Okay? If you have heard the name of this fish, you have heard the name Hilsa. Okay? Hilsa is basically living in brackish water, matlab in Bay of Bengal, but it will enter in Ganga river up to half of West Bengal also. So matlab in Ganga river, in the fresh water also it will be able to enter, and in watery matlab via Ganga river it can enter into Bay of Bengal also. ठीक है? In that case, this fish should be capable of releasing excess salt or holding some amount of salt. Whenever it is entering into sea water, it will release excess salt. Whenever it is entering into fresh water, it will hold some amount of salt. This is an example of edge effect. Getting my point? See, what I'm saying is, you gave me an example of some of the species which are capable of living on land as well as water. Okay? Let's talk about those species which are moving in water only continuously. Okay? Ecosystem, in that case, an ecotone is something which is intermediate ecosystem between two ecosystems. So this is a freshwater ecosystem. This is a seawater ecosystem. Seawater is very salty. This is less salt. Okay? So if a species enters into river water also, into sea also, it should be able to control the salt balance in the body. Okay? As soon as it is entering into sea water, because nearby it has sufficient amount of salt, so it will release excess salt. Okay? soon as what of salt, salt is an effect. You have written ability to in either side effect. Edge species will exhibiting edge effect, right? So mangroves, what do they do? We will study about mangroves because it's a very important topic for environment. Okay, but otherwise I'll give you some summary of what mangroves will do. Mangroves are those plants which live in Ganga belt, Ganga delta. Okay, most commonly, but otherwise mangroves are found across the coast, the entire coast. Okay. Mangroves of Ganga belt is known as, that entire region is known as Sundarbans. You have heard the name Sundarbans? And the mangrove tree, which is most commonly found in Sundarbans, is the Sundari tree. Okay? It is the same tiger which is found in this area, which is India's national animal. India's national animal is not tiger, it is Bengal tiger. Okay? So we were discussing about mangroves. Mangroves have this capability because they are living in salt water, right? So they should be capable of releasing excess salt because that is not desired for them. So what they will do, if you turn the leaf of a mangrove tree back, you will be able to see some white colored deposits. This is excess salt which is secreted by the plant leaf. The tree leaf will release excess salt. This is an example of edge effect. Because the plant has a capability of adapting to live in both the sides of ecosystem. As soon as there is influx of fresh water, it will stop releasing excess salt. As soon as the fresh water recedes and there is more of sea water, it will start releasing excess salt. That is what is an edge effect. Either species is capable of living in either side of the ecosystem is known as the edge effect. Okay. Okay. Human modified ecosystems से पहले human, and I have to discuss about biosphere reserves, but that we cannot do now. Okay, instead of starting human modified ecosystem, do you want me to revise whatever we have studied from morning? Chalega? Okay. And now also I'm asking, please, if you have any doubt, please let me know, okay? Because it is important for me that you guys understand. Okay? Okay, so beginning with, we were reading NCERT of class 5. Okay? And in NCERT class 5, they were discussing about sense organs of animals. Okay? First animal that they were discussing was ant. And there's something strange about them is strong sense of smell. That is what NCERT says, that it has a very strong sense of smell. Okay? What is NCERT best? National? Correct, exactly. National Council for Education, Research and Training. It's a very important body for promoting education till the last mile. That is the focus of NCERT. NCERT, if you read, it is considered to be one of the revered book for civil services. Revered. Okay? We call this as the Gita. Bhagavad Gita, because this is very important. Every line in NCERT is very important. Plus, it teaches you that you need to cohabit. Cohabit, matlab, you need to recognize. I'm not talking about only environment book. Okay? When you are reading NCERT of history also, you will realize this. Human beings should also be respecting all other components. When we fought the Panipat War, we did not, whoever fought the Panipat War, they did not realize the importance of mountains in that region. They did not calculate into the geography of that region. If any dynasty has calculated the geography, they have usually won. Okay? Alexander himself was not able to calculate the damage. I'm trying to expand my army till this extent. After crossing the Indus River, I might fail because the army is tired. Okay? So it diversifies your way of thinking. I'm talking not only in terms of environment. I'm talking human beings should recognize this, that there are so many other components and we are just facing the consequence of all these components. Okay, so we should stop controlling all these components. It is what is the summary. What overall, if you try to see the bird's eye view of what NCERT is teaching you, it teaches you to cohabit with other species, to cohabit with human beings also. If you see any image, for example, NCERT ka any image, it will usually have 4 children. Okay, one will be Hindu, the other one will be Muslim, third will be Christian, fourth will be Sikh, because that is the 4 common most religion. So we need to also accept this fact that Hinduism is not the only dominant religion in India. There are other religions also which we need to respect. That's why we say NCERT is a revered book, because it preaches you diversity. Okay? This diversity ke liye hi UPSC is known for. When you are writing answers, we teach ki it should be in the form of NCERT, because it should show that diversity. Okay? When we are writing answers, it's a far-fetched thing, but when we are writing answers, we will be discussing all of this. But that kind of diversity is promoted by NCERT. Okay? Now talking about class 5 NCERT, which is talking about ants, and ants have a very strong sense of smell. But about ants, we also studied that they have a compound eye. Compound eye matlab, there will be small blocks within an eye itself. There will be small square shaped things, which will be creating a small image back at their retina. All these images combined together, this is how they will be creating the final image. Okay? So this is how ants or any insect will see with the compound eye. Okay? This is important for us because nowadays in science and technology, we are creating images like this. This is what is exactly pixels. Okay? If you say that a camera is having itna megapixel ka capacity, this is what is pixel. And maximum number of pixel matlab maximum number of fine images. This will have maximum number of pixels. This has a lesser number of pixels. Okay? So compound eye ko hi we have elaborated in making a better camera. Okay? Plus, ants also have an exoskeleton. Exoskeleton matlab their bones will be outside their body. And this exoskeleton is known as chitin, which is a very strong part of their body, which will help them carry weight higher than their own body weight also. Okay? They have colorless blood because they do not want oxygen to be transported. Their skin itself is capable of breathing, so they will breathe through their skin. Because they don't need an oxygen transporter, so they don't need hemoglobin itself, so their blood is colorless. Okay? Ants also have pheromones. Pheromones, it is a kind of hormone which will create a trail, and all other ants will be following that pheromone trail. Okay? Ants contain formic acid. The skin of an ant contains formic acid, and the pH of this formic acid is 2 to 3. Okay? Ants also classify whether you are from my family or not through a petiole. Okay? Ants will breathe through their body through small holes. This is known as spiracle. The small holes in their body through which they breathe is known as spiracle. Okay? Spiracle. S-P-I-R-A-C-L-E. Okay? Then with respect to ant, we also studied about one specific species of ants known as red fire ant. Red fire ants are native to South America, Caribbean region, but have entered into all other parts of the world also. Okay? These are invasive species, so they will remove all the other species from that region. Okay? And they are also responsible for soil aeration. Okay? So they will enter into soil and come out of it and create holes, passes through which air can be easily trapped by the soil. Soil aeration, and also reduces compaction, because they will be creating holes within the soil, right? So compaction, the rigidity of soil will be loosened. Okay? Okay? The fire ants also reduces pest-related insects, because they will be eating upon those insects. So there will be less of pest infection in that field. Okay? Cotton and sugarcane plantations they make use of fire ants, so that it will not be infected by pest. Okay? Okay. Next organism that we studied was mosquito. Mosquito made 2 specific organisms. Achha, one is they will detect human beings through the smell of the feet or through the body heat. Okay? Mosquitoes में two types of mosquitoes we have studied. One is Aedes aegypti, the other one is female Anopheles. Female Anopheles causes malaria, ठीक है? And malaria is a protozoal disease. Aedes aegypti is the causes viral disease, dengue, chikungunya, Zika, and all that is caused by Aedes. Okay. To reduce their population, we have made use of mosquito fish. Mosquito fish will eat up on the larva of those fishes, of those mosquitoes, and they will die. So mosquitoes will not proliferate. Then we had a genetically modified mosquito in which we are changing the information in a mosquito. Okay. And adding a fluorescent color to this mosquito, fluorescent color that they will glow in dark. Okay. This is not firefly, this is a mosquito only. Okay. This is a mosquito which will glow in dark, and because of that glow, more male mosquitoes will come and mate with it. But because it is a sterilized mosquito, it will not be able to lay eggs, and the generation itself will get closed down. Okay. Fluorescent marker gene and self-limiting gene. Achha, it has been successfully tested in Brazil, Panama, and Cayman Islands. Okay. Then the next organism that we studied was dogs. Dogs also have a very strong sense of smell. Okay. And we studied about the issues of stray dogs. Kyunki India owns 1/3 of the disease, global disease burden of rabies is owned by India. So why are we lacking in this? Is because poor animal birth control programs, poor lack of ABC program ka implementation, or irresponsible ownership wherein the dog owners will leave them, okay, unattended, will be left, and poor waste management which calls for more free available food. So matlab we are promoting the number of dogs on street. Okay. So what has government done? What has government done to this? One is animal birth control program has been executed, although not completely, but yes, to some extent we have been able to control the population of stray dogs. Then the legal framework says that Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, which talks about sterilization and vaccination of dogs, be it on street or in houses, this should be carried out. Okay. Then we have the collaboration with NGO. Government has collaborated with NGO. Whatever are the stray dogs, you need to give them some kind of habitation, get it vaccinated and sterilized. So with respect to NGO, we have been able to reduce the number of dogs on street. Okay. And the awareness campaign amongst people that you should not be undertaking public feeding. Public feeding matlab you are calling for more number of dogs to get accumulated in an area, can lead to dogs fighting amongst themselves, or can lead to dog fight also. Okay. Better execution of, whenever you are writing an answer, abhi to dur hai, I do agree, but whenever you are writing an answer, the last part of your answer is a conclusion. In conclusion, we usually mention the way forward. Way forward matlab this is a suggestive measure. Government should do this. Okay. So way forward, public feeding should be prohibited, and sheltering unauthorized dogs, which we are already doing with the collaboration of NGO, this should be carried out. Okay. Then the next organism that we have studied are birds. Birds are, they have some of the birds have fixed eyes, so they will be shifting their neck continuously so that they can have a wider vision. Okay. They do have ears, but it is covered with the wings, the feather, so it is not usually visible. Okay. We had the state of birds report, which was talking about reduction in number of population of birds because of several factors. One was urbanization, one was climate change. Okay. And deforestation. So climate change has led to rise in temperature, that the birds are not able to adapt to the increasing temperature, so they are dying. Okay. Or phenological mismatches, which is changing their mating time. Because of changes in mating time, they are not able to lay eggs, and which is reducing their population. Okay. We have also studied about adaptation related deaths of birds. They are not able to, let's say, lack of availability of food or water, or changing climatic conditions, say they have not been able to adapt. If they have been able to adapt, they have evolved. If not adapted, then they have become extinct. Okay. And malaria related deaths. So there are so many birds which are dying because of malaria also. Okay. Then urbanization has led to habitat loss, because we have undertaken large scale deforestation, or pollution also. Because buildings are made in a manner in an urban area that they reflect the sky. So birds get confused and go and hit the building itself, and they collide and die. Okay. Homogenization, because of removal of all other species and limited number of species, they are not able to mate and not able to proliferate. Progeny नहीं हो पा रहा है, ठीक है. Homogenization मतलब diversity is lost, ठीक है. Then we have invasive species which are eating upon the resources. For example, gray pigeons. Gray pigeons, if they are found somewhere, they will be removing all other varieties of birds there, which will ultimately reduce their population. Okay. Then we have energy infrastructure, which has also led to decline in population of birds because of wind turbines. Wind turbines will kill so many birds. Okay. Or along the electric lines, if they sit, they will also die because of that. Because of electrocution. Okay. They will die. India में 142 number of bird species are known to decline, out of which 68 are declining very fast. Okay. Talking about the next, that is the senses of animals. One is about tiger. Okay. Tiger have a very strong sense through their whiskers. They can feel the movement of air. Through sound, they can understand whether an organism is moving on grass or touching the leaves. Okay. They have a vision much better than human beings and much better than their own daytime vision at night. Okay. Different sounds for different purposes. They create different sounds for different purposes. For example, any danger or mating, or prey, if they get any prey also, they will create some different kinds of sounds. Okay. And they will also undertake territorial domination with urine the way dogs do. Okay. Sleeping times of some animals we have studied. Sloth bear will sleep only 3/4 part of the day. Will sleep 3/4 part of the day. Not only तो नहीं बोल सकते, ठीक है? But 3/4 part of the day. Giraffe will sleep for a very small part of the day, only 2 hours. Cows will also sleep for a very less part, 2 + 2 4, and 4 hours only. Cows will sleep only for 4 hours. So and python will again sleep for 3/4 part of the day. Okay. We have also studied कि predators को avoid करने के लिए, to while away the predators, to remove the predators, some of the fishes will send electric signals. ठीक है. Langurs and birds will make different kinds of sounds. ठीक है. Then some of the tribes we have studied, one was Kalbelia. Kalbelia are the snake charmer tribes from Rajasthan. ठीक है. Their dance has also been recognized by UNESCO as through its intangible cultural heritage list. Okay. Some of the parts of desert region of Rajasthan they are usually found, and they are a nomadic tribe put up under the scheduled tribe list of the presidential order. Okay. Some of the UNESCO's intangible heritage list we have seen: Garba from Gujarat, Durga Puja from Kolkata, Kumbh Mela across the country, and then Nowruz is a Parsi festival. ठीक है. Parsi New Year is known as Nowruz. ठीक है. Thathera is from Punjab, and the brass utensil making tradition which has been passed across generation has been recognized by UNESCO. ठीक है. Then we have Sankirtana from Manipur, which is in which the people will beat drums and dance along with that. From Manipur, it has been recognized, and Buddhist chanting from Ladakh has been recognized as UNESCO's intangible heritage. Okay. UNESCO's intangible heritage, we have also recognized Chhau from Purulia and Mayurbhanj, Purulia in West Bengal, Mayurbhanj in Odisha. So mostly the eastern part of the country say Chhau dance has been recognized. This is how Chhau dance is conducted. Okay. Then we have Kalbelia from Rajasthan. This is the Chhau dance. Okay. This is Raman from Garhwal. Okay. Kalbelia has been recognized from Rajasthan, Mudiyattu and Kutiyattam, both from Kerala. Okay. Raman from Garhwal. Vedic chanting across the country, but mostly I have seen it in South India only. Okay. Vedic chanting and Ram Leela wherein Ramayana is enacted. Okay. Tribes of India we have also studied about one more tribe, that is Changpa. Changpa are the shepherd community who are rearers of Pashmina goat. So they are Pashmina cultivators. They live close to Changthang Wildlife Sanctuary. Changthang Wildlife Sanctuary also has a water body, which is the salt lake water body called Somoriri. Somoriri has been recognized by Ramsar. Okay. internationally recognized that we need to conserve, protect this water body, okay, because it is undergoing some kind of major change. Then you have Rebo. Rebo are the houses made of yak hair, okay, and Lekha. Lekha are the stone houses wherein animals are kept, okay. They also cultivate pashmina shawls. Amongst Changpa and their houses, we have studied that they have a special kind of window known as dab window, which is hexagonal in shape outside the building. Okay, dab window and khatamband are the wood carvings along the houses. This is the khatamband wood carvings along the houses. Okay, their houses are made up of stones plus brick plus wood, so that they remain warm. Okay. And these are known as mehrabs. Houses made up of stones plus brick plus wood are known as mehrab. We have studied about one more community. This is how. Can you see their location? This is how. This is where Bhakarwals live. Okay. It's a temporary facility because they are nomadic. Not exactly nomadic, but they will keep on shifting down and up, right? So Bhakarwals will create temporary houses. Okay. So they are known as transhumans. Transhumans matlab the one who will shift from valley bottom to valley top, mountain top, depending upon the season. So one such example of that community is Bhakarwals. Okay. Okay. In environment, we studied about ecology. Ecology is the study of environment. We have also studied about ecosystems. Ecosystems matlab there is an interaction between biotic and abiotic component known as ecosystem. If this interaction does not happen and we have only biotic and abiotic components present in a region, this we will be calling as an environment. Okay. So ecosystem is the alive part of environment. Okay. This biotic interaction can be within the same species or between different species. If it is within the same species, it is known as intraspecific. And if it is within the different species, it is known as interspecific interaction, biotic interaction. Okay. Then we have the levels of organization. Matlab, any population for that matter, any species can be categorized into an individual, matlab single organism, multiple organism of the same species, matlab population. Then you combine all other species also in a region. This is known as a community. Then this set of communities, matlab multiple species, start interacting with the abiotic component, non-living component. This will be the ecosystem. Multiple ecosystems combined together, this will be known as biome, and multiple biomes combined together will be known as a biosphere. Biosphere is the zone wherein atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere meet each other. Okay. Then we have autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs are the ones who will prepare their own food. Heterotrophs are the ones who will depend upon the food created by the heterotrophs. Okay? Heterotrophs can create some kind of food. This will be known as the primary productivity of that plant. Okay? Primary productivity may say some part they will be consuming for their own self. This will be known, if you remove that, okay, if you remove that part of from primary productivity, what we get is the net primary productivity. Human beings are more concerned about net primary productivity because this is what is available for us. Okay. Then we had heterotrophs. Heterotrophs, matlab, these are organisms which will depend upon the food created by autotrophs. Heterotrophs themselves can be purely vegetarian, matlab, purely plant eating. In that case, they will be known as herbivores. They can be purely animal eating, also known as carnivores. It can be a combination of both, known as omnivores. Okay. Then we have one set of organisms which are feeding on dead organic matter. These are known as decomposers. Okay. Achha, we have also studied about ecological efficiency. Ecological efficiency is talking about the total amount of energy acquired by an organism divided by the total amount of energy transferred to the next one. Saprotrophs. Saprotrophs are those organisms which will also be feeding on protrophs, which will also be feeding on dead organic matter, but they are not decomposers. Okay? They will be feeding on dead organic matter, but their task is not decomposition. Okay? Their task is only to feed upon the dead organic matter. Done? ecological efficiency मतलब total energy acquired by divided by total energy transferred to the next trophic level. ठीक है, will be the ecological efficiency. Food chain represents the predator-prey relationship in a ecosystem. If you expand the predator-prey relationship to all the species in an ecosystem, what you get is a food web. ठीक है, food web is much more stable as compared to food chain. And ecosystems can be further divided into whether it is on land, so terrestrial, if it is in water, it is aquatic. But then there is one ecosystem which can live on between two ecosystems itself. For example, desert. On one side you have desert, on one side you have dense forest. Okay? So what is in between these two? What is the ecotone between desert and forest? Grasslands. Once you start moving away from deserts, what is the first plant species that you will be seeing will be grasses. It will not be trees. It is not possible for trees to exist just after desert. Okay? So what is existing in between these two? So grasslands are also an ecotone between desert and forest. Okay? Grasslands are also ecotone between deserts and forest. Okay? So we were discussing about ecotone. Ecotone is something, an intermediate ecosystem between two ecosystems is known as an ecotone. Okay? Okay, here say we will continue in the next class. Okay. No confusion? You are worried? You're not happy? Yes,